All right, guys. Welcome to the weekly strategy session, guys. As always, the way we structure this out is in the very beginning, we talk a little bit about mindset, get you excited and ready for this week, this upcoming week, guys, because we're gonna absolutely freaking kill it this week, right? We're gonna close more deals than ever, guys. We're gonna make more sales than ever, we're gonna make more money than ever. All right. That's what this week's gonna be all about. The way we're gonna structure the strategy session, as always, we talk about mindset in the beginning. After that, we're gonna talk about a couple of voted upon topics. So in this case, what we're talking about, guys, we're talking about number 3. We're talking about a little bit of lead generation. We're going over, and we're also going to be going over one thing that my buddy just asked me. What was it? Pricing. Now that's very important. All right. So let me get my pens out and let's start talking about your teams, guys. Your teams needs to be super. It's super important when building your team as you are going to the top and you're succeeding. You're not going to be able to really succeed all by yourself. It's so much to be able to handle, so you're going to need to build a team. First thing you're going to do is you have to build a team of people that you can mostly trust. Because when you start building people with teams with people you can trust, you're able to then scale a lot quicker. So let's structure this portion out like this. First, over here, how to find teams. How to find teams. How to find. All right. This is the first part we're going to talk about. Then after that, we're going to talk about the actual internal process of the teams. But first, how do we find these teams, guys? How do we find these VAs? Well, it really depends on what you're trying to get them to do. Because if you're trying to get somebody on the closing position, that's going to be very, very different than getting somebody on just like scheduling up appointments or handling disputes for you. You can get VAs from anywhere between $3 an hour, $3 an hour. Oh my gosh, $3 an hour, all the way up to like $150 an hour. But it depends now. And you can also do it on commission, obviously. But it depends. Like, who do you really want for that type of job? It depends on what type of skilled labor you're trying to get and where you should be searching. I was talking about this with my buddy actually the other day because he needed a couple of VAs for his business. And the first thing I really asked him is, what do you really need this person to do? Because we can get you a shit ton of VAs, but for it to actually work, it's got to be the right person. So what this guy wanted to be able to do is you want to set up a big call center that's able to handle all the inflow of his traffic coming in to his funnel, to his overall just his offer. So he wanted VAs to then respond to people coming in and also to call those people up. Now, this is where it gets a little bit different because when you have VAs that calling people up, that's going to be immediately more skilled labor. And this entire VA thing that I learned is one of those things that kind of really allowed me to drop out of college because I realized when I was younger that you can leverage people all the way across the country at $2 to $3 an hour, where our minimum wage over here is like, I don't know, what is it, $10, $15 an hour? You can leverage people across the country that has the same skilled work as people over here, if not sometimes even more dedicated for a portion of the price. So why wouldn't you do that? So, but the thing is, when you are getting VAs, there's quality involved is the biggest thing. VAs, when people overseas, you're going to run into everything has a little problems. In which case, when you have VAs over the seas, over a country, you're going to want to make sure that their Wi-Fi is set up properly. You're going to want to make sure that they actually respond on time, and you want to make sure communication is okay. So there's a couple of pieces of criteria when it comes to hiring VAs for things like appointment setting or just contacting people for me. And a couple of things that I personally look for when I hire these type of people is I like to look for women. All right, I like to look for women, and I like to look for people that have good Wi-Fi. All right, everything else you can really train. And I do like to work with single mothers, single moms. Because when I was first starting out my VA network over here, what I immediately found out is that a lot of people, and you're probably gonna find out, a lot of these people, they're so interested in getting paid initially up front, maybe because they've been scammed by other people, that it's often very, very difficult to actually get them started. What I found to really ultimately just work the best is when you specifically get VAs that are single mothers, because they have to work. They have this feeling where they have to provide. Whereas in comparison, I've hired dudes in the past for things like appointment setting. And I find that when you have a sweet, tendering, loving voice calling up these businesses to try to schedule meetings or to answer your calls for yourself, it's going to do a lot better than having a man with a manly voice. You know, everybody wants to hear a nice, gentle voice, especially when it comes to appointment setting and just regular customer support. So I find that women that are single moms that have Wi-Fi, and what I mainly hire for is I hire over in the Philippines. Okay, I love hiring in the Philippines because, like I said, you can get them really cheap, and minimum wage is pretty cheap. Now, Blade, how do I find these VAs? Well, let me break it down to you. The way I find these VAs is I go to, all right, how to find teams. This is my kind of my criteria over here. All right, now where? So this is the I should change this up. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna get organized. Who? These are the people I'm looking for. For what? What are we doing? What are we doing? Appointment setting. All right, so this is all the things you got to keep in mind while you're finding VAs. Who, what, where. In the Philippines. All right, when is when are they going to actually work? Because what I've actually done is I'm always running ads. I'm always getting leads coming in 24/7. So sometimes I need to make sure that I situate my team so that I got them on standby 24/7. So if a call were to come in, regardless if it's at nighttime and I'm sleeping, you know, the calls are still going to be answered by my VAs. If someone DMs me on Facebook Messenger or if someone DMs my business, you got to make sure you get VAs still working that time. Which is also very helpful when you have an AI virtual assistant that answers basic questions to get back to people. It'll save you a whole lot of money. But you can't really, at least not yet, you can't sub out the work of what voice does yet. There are these AI platforms out there that can handle inbound calls and can respond and go back and forth with them. But what I found, I'm kind of bring this a little closer so you guys see my board. But what I found is that the AIs that do voice right now aren't as good as having a person do it, because it doesn't sound natural. And most of the time what happens is people ends up just handing up the call. So I'm trying to say is that when it comes to voice, you're going to want to actually hire somebody. But when it comes to texting and stuff like that, you know, it doesn't really matter if you don't have a VA going 24/7 on the clock, because AI can pick those up, at least the basics, answer questions, schedule appointments, upsell and downsell, which is actually a lot. And the rest of it can kind of be handled in the morning. But what I'm trying to say is that you can use the AI virtual assistant to handle a majority of the work. But when it comes to calling, when it comes to making sure that things just has quality, and when it comes to specific, I mean, most of the questions the AI virtual assistant will be able to answer, because be able to scan your entire website. But those other things like calls, and maybe you want an AI virtual assistant, or you want a virtual assistant to handle disputes in your credit repair business, those things, you might need an actual virtual assistant to handle those things. You might need someone from the Philippines. Okay, so who, what, where, when. All right, working sometimes 24/7. How are we going to find these? Where do we find these guys now? Where I mainly find my virtual assistants are through 3 platforms: Upwork, Fiverr, and Facebook. All right, those are my 3 favorite places to find workers. And I find that on Facebook, let's say you need one for appointment setting, you just join a group, look up appointment setting groups. You can find somebody right on there really quick. You put up a post on there, just basic, hey, I need an appointment setter for my credit repair business, or whatever business it is, my contracting business, because you know we got a lot of contractors over here. As soon as you put out that post, if the group has at least 10,000 members, you're going to get at least 10 responses within the hour. So you're going to have a shit ton of people hitting up your DMs. Now it's your job to kind of go through those. Now, Blade, how do we kind of go through that mass influx? So the strategy to get these people is specifically find these subsedentary groups that are very specific to the niche that you're using. So if I want somebody for just handling my credit repair disputes, I'm probably going to look at a group for credit repair. I'm going to put up a post on credit repairs. I would want somebody that knows how to use credit repair. If I want someone to run my software like Credit Repair Cloud or some other software, I'm probably going to join a Credit Repair Cloud group. You know, if I want somebody to help me edit videos, in which case I'm probably going to join a Facebook group about video editing and freelance videos. It's kind of self-explanatory. And so now what we're going into is the actual steps of processing all these clients coming in, all these not clients, all these VAs that are coming in. How do you process those and how do you pick out which one's the best? A couple ways that I find to do this. First being is you tell them to send you actual work that they've done. And what I've also done as well too is because everybody, they're automatically gonna be like, yo, I want money immediately. What I always try to have them do is I always try to give them a small little job at front. Give them a small little job to see if they can handle it. Less than $10 job, make a graphic, make a thumbnail for me, record your voice a couple of times so I can hear what you sound like. But start them out small. All right. Make sure you start them out small and you test them. Because especially in those first couple of weeks, a lot of these people that you get in Facebook groups, they're going to waste your money. They're gonna think this American has all this money, and they're going to take their time doing things. Like recently, I just hired a couple of people. I had them do appointment setting for me, and what would happen is these people that would come in, they would write. I would have a task for them to just go outbound and just contact as many credit card businesses as possible. So I want to bring them into my funnel. And what they would do is throughout an hour period, they might contact one or two people. And I would respond to them. I was like, yo, how does that make any sense? So what I did instead of that, I was like, all right, listen, I don't trust anymore. But what we could do is we can work on commission, in which case every 100 people that you contact, I'll give you like $10, $20. Boom. So it's kind of, you have to kind of go around. You got to work with every virtual assistant is going to be different when you're handling it, but make sure you kind of have those steps in place that you're not really just giving them too much up front. You're not giving too much money up front. You're still keeping the money in your pockets. You're not giving up too much, all while making sure that, it's fair for them. It's fair for you. If you have to go to commission, but as well too, when you're hiring these virtual assistants, you got to keep in mind, what do you really want them to do? Because if you're having someone that you're hiring for $3 an hour, you're trying to get them to close deals, probably what's going to happen is they're not going to be able to close those deals. You need to hire somebody that actually speaks English a lot better, understands your business a lot better, and you're probably going to want to motivate those people with commission. I find that whenever when you do an appointment setting, when you're having somebody just call up leads, what I find is the ultimate kind of the sweet spot is to do it on a commission basis, not really necessarily do it by hour, because sometimes it can be very difficult to track how many hours they're actually actively working. So what I do for thumbnails, for example, my editors that create thumbnails for me, I do it by, hey, every thumbnail that you make that I like, that I approve of, is going to be $5 to give you. So I do it on a commission basis. Same thing with appointment setters. Hey, every appointment that you actually schedule with me, I'll give you $10 to $15. Because that's kind of in correlation to what my ad costs are. If I were to run ads to be able to get appointments for me. If you have, but you got to keep in mind too, like I said, if you have trying to get these people that are really cheap, $3 an hour, $4 an hour, like from the Philippines, that the Wi-Fi sometimes work, and you're trying to get these guys to close deals for you, that's gonna be so much more difficult. What you need to then find is, if you want somebody to kind of close deals for you, you want to find somebody in commission. And what I found to work the best on there, and it sounds crazy, is Facebook groups. But what I've found is actually college students. These college students, if you just give them a massive list of people to call and try to close, these people want to get into the field, they want to get into business, and they want to see how it feels like to close these deals and what operations are going. So if you have a marketing agency, you may want to hit up a college, go over there, meet the professors, speak to them, and say, hey, I got a business opportunity where I need somebody to help me close some more deals or schedule appointments, or just do the daily operations in my marketing agency. Do you have anybody you can recommend? And you can get them on an internship, in which case that's gonna be a lot cheaper than pay somebody the normal fees of what people should get paid, $10, $20, $30 an hour. Where if you put them on an internship, you might not even have to pay them. They might even be able to work out something with a professor, in which case you do it on some sort of credits. So college students need credits. So if you have a marketing agency role open up that will teach these college students really the internals of a business and how it's run, if you have them run your go high level pipeline, make calls for you, sell people, all that stuff is great experience that colleges often look for to be able to offer a hands-on experience for college credits. So it's another great place to look. But you really got to understand what you're looking for. Another example over here, in which case I need developers all the time. I need to be able to get developers to help me work on all these different projects. So I'm not gonna go to a single mom that is in the Philippines, chances are not. What I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna put up a post on Upwork or on Facebook group looking for developers, and I'm gonna find the person that has the best, the best hands-on experience with that related subject. And you gotta keep in mind that, a lot of the developers, I know though most of the developers are gonna be in Pakistan. That's where it is. And that's where the most will be coming from. But when you're hiring developers, once again, you got to protect yourself. You really do, because I've been through the same thing when it comes with even with Upwork. Upwork has insurance on there. Upwork is supposed to really protect you, but I mean, I even been screwed out of like my last, no, what was it? Maybe 3 projects ago, 4 projects ago, it might have been a year ago or something like that. But in which case, I hired a developer to be able to build something out for me. The total project was like $6,000. I might have ended up paying $3,000, and he had nothing for me. He was faking it the entire time, sending screenshots of like, oh, hey, look, this is what I'm building out, sending these fake screenshots. And then before I knew it, when it came time to actually deliver me the MVP, the minimum viable product of it, nothing worked. It was just screenshots. And I kind of got screwed over there. Upwork couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. So I'm trying to say is to kind of learn from my mistakes. So when you are hiring a developer, I know coding myself, and one of the things that I didn't F up myself is I really didn't look into the coding enough. I didn't look at the actual code. He sent me screenshots, but I should have been like, all right, cool, share me the file as you go. First milestone, if you want to get paid, the second, words, you usually leave a deposit, then you leave a milestone 1, 2, 3, all the way up to the project's done. What I'm trying to say, you give them a deposit, do the job, and before they actually get the first milestone, make sure that you're able to verify that that stuff is legitimate. Definitely make sure that. And overall, some of the virtual assistant thing is really to just make sure that you're protecting yourself, making, because a lot of the people out there, they just want to immediately just make some quick money, right? And so you need to be wary of that. You're gonna get a lot of people saying, hey, I'm an expert on Go High Level, but never even have Go High Level themselves. I've been through that a crazy amount of times. So to really to search out for that is to be like, yo, just show me some past work that you have, and don't waste your time with people that won't show me past work. They're gonna make excuses about how it's not coming through. I've dealt with that so many times. I'm like, all right, man, bye. You're the one that contacted me. Bye. I'm gonna find somebody else. All right. So don't sweat it. There's think about have the power of abundance here. In which case, there's gonna be unlimited virtual assistants that are gonna want to work with you. There's gonna be limited people that are gonna want to help. You just gotta find the right one. Initially up front, the setup, the finding the people, the setting them up is the hardest part. But once you got them going, you're good. That's the same thing I say with ads. The setup of running ads is difficult, it's time consuming, split testing, everything. But once you get the ad that converts like crazy, every single time you put $10, you get a sale, boom, put $100 in, put $1,000 in, just scale that shit up. Once you got a system that you've built with these virtual assistants to schedule up appointments, boom, just hire another one. Hire another one, do double the amount of work now. You know what I'm saying? So it does take a lot of time up front to be able to do it, but it's definitely worth it. And the more that you push yourself out of the business, you're gonna find that your revenue is gonna multiply the more you push yourself out. And the more stuff that you automate, the more stuff that you systematize, overall, the more financial freedom you're gonna have, and the less stress you're gonna have in your play as well too. So let me also say this as well too. So in my business, in Funnel Hacker Labs, we run ads for people. We have me just write this up here because this is kind of important as well too. So in my business in Funnel Hacker Labs, you got the funnel designers, we got the AI guy, we got automations. All right, we got funnels / sites, we got AI, we got automations, and then we got what else we have? We got ad manager. Oh, we also got video editors as well too, but we'll leave that off for now. What I'm trying to say is you got all these different pieces of puzzle over here. And especially if you're the type of person that actually wants to scale your business up, you can't be doing each one of these individually yourself. Because if you start doing each one of these individually yourself, it's going to take away a lot of time from you that you should be spending actually just making money for the business. One of my really good buddies of mine, What he told me was that is the 80-20 rule. So I'm gonna put 80, 20. All right. 20% delivering, 80% making money is what should be spent. Because if you're constantly working for money, you have no time to make money. It all sounds crazy, but listen, guys, really, if you have no time, if you're spending all your time trying to make money or trying to create money, you're gonna have no time to actually make it, to actually build that wealth. So what you need to focus on, and I was literally just talking to another buddy, is that 20% of your time should be focused on the actual delivery. In which case, you can just, once you get that job in, that where you're spending 80% of your time, once you get the job in, just take it and be like, cool, I got the best ad manager over here. I got the best AI guy over here. Boom, boom, boom. And just send it out to the people that are working with you, with your teammates. And I really, me, myself, and I, so right until I die. No, what I'm saying is that before I get crazy distracted, what I'm saying is that what I make sure I do is each one of these people over here, I want to make sure that each one of my teammates are able to see a positive future. Because you, as that leader, your entire main job is to bring this company up, is to thrive with your company, to build a freaking empire. And if your team has this feeling that the business is not really going anywhere, that they can't really grow in this opportunity, they're going to look for other opportunities. So I'm trying to say is that you need to show your team a vision. You absolutely need to show your team a freaking vision. So for me, my vision with my team is we want to make as many money printers out there. We want to have, by the end of next year, we want to have another 10 millionaires that we've built. All right. We want to help another 10 millionaires become millionaires. And in order to do so, we got to make sure that over here, we got to have the best funnel guy. We got to make sure that we have the best AI guy. We got to make sure we have the best automations guy. We got to make sure we have the best AI ad manager. Because why settle for anything less when we're trying to achieve the top? So what I made sure I do is, even if I have to sacrifice a little bit of my pay up front or during the time, whatever, I make sure I hire out the very best people. Let me kind of give you an example over here. And I'm just going to kind of just throw numbers out there. All right. Just for number sakes. But if I have an ad manager over here, if the market right now, I can get a Pakistani guy to run ads for me for around $300. Oops. / month per client for me. But the problem with these guys, these cheaper guys, is that they don't have the confidence in themselves to be able to tell you when an offer sucks. They don't have the confidence in yourself to be able to talk to the client. I mean, times they can't even speak to the client because they don't have to speak that good English. So yeah, it might be seem like a less amount, but are you really getting the quality that you deserve, that your $1 trillion business, your freaking empire deserves? No. So me personally, knowing the fact that I really don't want to have to be able to deal with problems for my entire life, because I want to do this 80-20 rule. I want to focus on making the business of money. I don't want to focus on delivery. Okay, I don't want to say that anymore. Delivery, no boo. I rather focus on making money. So in order to do that, I want to make sure I hire the best. In which case, my ad manager, I'm going to make sure it's somebody that can communicate very well with my client, that is very confident in what he does with his ads, and that we know we can get results for it. So I'd be willing to pay twice, heck, 3 times that amount. I'd be willing to pay upwards of, that's really upwards of 1K. 1K for that ad manager. And with the understanding that his payment's going to grow as the business grows as well too. So you got to have that vision where this is why larger corporations they have leadership structure. You got the CEO, the manager, and you're climbing this ladder. And as you climb this ladder, you're paid more and more. So the way I have my vision structured with all my guys is that, guys, listen, the more money we make our client, the more we're going to get paid. The more that we get paid, the more you're going to get paid. All right. So it's only in our best interest to want to make our clients as successful as possible. My ad manager wants nothing less but the best, because he wants his pay to go up as well too. So I'm trying to say is that when you have these guys, you need to make sure that they're open-minded enough to have this vision. You got to make sure that these guys see a future, see themselves growing in a company. Because if they don't see themselves growing in your company and your team, they're gonna go on to another opportunity. Because you're not gonna find this person that's just gonna be okay with making minimum amounts, for the rest of their lives. People got bills to pay. People got aspirations they want to be able to get. People got Porsches they want to buy. So you want to make sure that throughout your entire team, they have this vision up top that I can grow with these people. As I help these people out more and more, as I really put more effort into this, it's going to directly correlate to the amount of money I'm bringing back home I'm putting in my pockets. So I'm not going to want to chase out another opportunity. I'm doing pretty well with this guy. That's the kind of vision you want to make sure you have, that everybody sees yourself growing. In addition to that is a lot of times with your team, you're gonna have disagreements. All right. You are gonna have disagreements. That's just guaranteed. It's almost as if you're with your wife or your girlfriend. You're gonna have disagreements. Okay. And it is your job to be able to effectively communicate with your team because they're not the bad guys. They're not. And this is a tough one for a lot of people to understand. When you have a disagreement, let me kind of close all this right here. Right? Because I want you to focus on me. When you guys have a disagreement, you got to realize that emotions can really take control of us. And we don't want that in the business space. All right. We definitely don't want that. So when we have a disagreement, rather than resulting over to emotions and maybe getting mad at each other, you need to be able to better understand each other. You need to be able to better understand why someone is thinking this way. Because ultimately, that's not your enemy, that's your teammate. You shouldn't be letting emotions get in your place and kind of control you and get mad at this person. That's your teammate. That's your teammate, and you both have a problem. Rather than getting mad at somebody, you need to be able to realize that you are on a team and you should be attacking the problem rather than each other. A lot of times emotions can kind of get in the way and can kind of either push people away, get people mad at each other. But you as that alpha, as that leader, you need to understand that everybody else they have feelings. Everybody else, they think other ways than you are. And especially you as the entrepreneur, as the leader, as the business owner, you can't possibly expect those other VAs to work as hard as you. And which is something I had to learn immediately because, I'm a freaking workaholic. I work 25/8. So I can't possibly expect a VA to work as hard as me. Which case you incentivize that with commissions, okay, and with communication. So a lot of times, even in my company too, we would, I don't want to say a lot of times, but whenever we have a disagreement in my company where somebody thinks that this way is better than this way, what I always found to work the best is to better understand why people think that way. Okay. So rather than kind of saying, no, you're wrong, we should do it this way, a better leader listens and speaks second. A better leader listens and then speaks second. Listens first, speaks value later. Right? A better leader, and you can probably see this. And it's actually really, really funny because I was just watching a cartoon, and this cartoon, it was like Batman. Okay, it was a Batman cartoon, and you can actually learn a whole lot about them because in one of these scenes, Batman, this big tough guy, he's always in charge, he's the freaking leader and everything, and they were just getting attacked by, I don't know, aliens or whatever. And one of the other guys, the lower guys, the guy that's not as tough as Batman, one of the new recruits is like, let's get him, go everybody, go attack. And everybody's like, looks at him like, what? And Batman's like, you heard the man, go. So what I'm trying to say is that I've ran into the two types of leaders. There's one type of leader that in that situation would be like, don't go. He's not a leader. I am. Wait, now go. Somebody has a little bit of power trip, and we've all met those people that have those power trips and that allow ego to really get in their way. But don't be that type of leader. Be the type of leader that's considerate of his teammates. It's that kind of that classic little meme where you have, all right, so you got like this massive mountain over here, okay, and you're trying to get this stone to the top of this mountain over here. You can do that, and you got your people over here pushing on the stone. All right. You don't want to be the person in the back over here cracking the freaking whip. Wow, po, pa, 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 pa. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be over there, the guy barking orders everybody. Isn't everybody's gonna resent you? Rather than being that type of boss or dictator, be the person that's over here in the front lines, that's in the front holding that boulder. You need to lead with action. That's a big one. That's a big power play right there. Is the more that you lead with action, the more that your team shows you leading with action, the more you're gonna have a powerful team behind you. I specifically remember one of these documentaries I was watching, and I forgot who it was. It was one of those big time investors. I think it was in Shark Tank. Might have been Mark Cuban. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but he just bought like the Dallas Mavericks or something like that, a football team. And what he did is they had a low attendance rate, so he got the team very cheap. But what he wanted to do is want to bring everybody back to watching the games. What he asked everybody to do is call up past buyers and get them to buy more tickets. And what was crazy, NBA team, you're right, my bad. But what was crazy about it is that this guy over here, I think it was Mark Cuban. What he did is he sat down behind a cubicle and he was calling everybody with them. He was there and he was making calls himself. He didn't expect his team to do things that he wasn't doing himself. So he was behind cubicles with everybody else and making sure that, if everybody else is calling, I'm going to do the same. How can I possibly expect my team to do something that I'm not going to do? And that also comes along with appointment setting. That's a very good lesson for appointment setting. Because what I really realized too is that a lot of people would go and just take the money and just throw it on just hiring some appointment setters without even trying to do it yourself. When you don't do the job yourself at first, you're not going to realize the problems, and you're going to run into gatekeepers in the beginning, or the people that are answering the phone. You're not going to realize the common objections. You're not going to be able to realize what's the best response, or what's the best thing to say to that person to get the best response rate. All right. So rather than taking the money out of your pocket and just hiring a whole bunch of VAs, take the time to do those calls yourself and really figure out what works. I just hired another teammate, and I haven't done appointment setting in a while because I was running ads. But right now, guys, Facebook hates me right now. They took out my Instagram, they took out my Facebook accounts, but I got plenty of backups, so my clients are good, which I'm really glad about, but I can't run them on my accounts. I got to create another Instagram, another Facebook page. So right now, what we did is these past 2 or 3 weeks, we've shifted our focus to, instead of running ads, focus more so on content distribution and just straight up hustling on Facebook, Craigslist, Discord, things like that, to be able to get more appointments, LinkedIn, to be able to get more appointments. And what we did is we have this general solution that has improved what I've been doing in the past. Is it just fucking works. In which case, you find people that actually have the ability to pay for your high ticket service. You go to LinkedIn, you go find people that are making at least 20 grand more a month, because if you have anybody really less than that, it's harder for them to pay for a $1,000 service. So they're less likely to pay that, because it seems like more to them. But I'm trying to say, this person wants to give me money. Sweet. What I'm trying to say is that totally distracted me. I lost my train of thought. What I'm trying to say is that you need to make sure that you do those calls yourself. When I was doing it, when I reopened this, when I went over from ads to now doing appointment setting and content distribution, I stopped and I did the calls myself. I'm doing 100 calls a day, because I want to make sure that our scripts are absolutely fucking perfect. So that when I scripts, I take them off and I send them to my team of 5 other appointment setters. I want to make sure they had the absolute best chances of scheduling up appointments with me. So what I always try to make sure I do is every single day I take calls. I make it a point that I take calls, because I want to find all those common objections so I can help my team get better. I want to find the best opening rates. I want to find out what's the best thing to say to people. So I'm taking all those calls. And then what I do is what I learn is I devise a couple of scripts. I put it on Notion. I have a couple of different options over there, and I give it to my guys to be able to read off the scripts, so they can have the best chances of making us money, making the team money. All right. And that's what I find that works. I did make a mistake. I think I did make a mistake a while ago. In which case I would hire people and I wouldn't do it myself. You know, this is a long time ago. And I literally remember this when I was in college, because I didn't want to cold call people in freaking college, you know, because I didn't have time to. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I got a little money to spare. I'm gonna throw out these virtual assistants and they're gonna get me appointments. Didn't work like that. Okay, it did not. What worked that got me to eventually drop out of college was me making fucking 200-300 calls every single freaking day. That's what worked, on top of my fucking mechanical engineering homework, on top of working out. But I still made time for that because it's the fucking hustle, it's the freaking grind. Nobody else is doing it. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. All right, and you already know that. Cool, guys. Cool. So VAs, guys, to kind of recap, make sure you got this amazing vision that people see you growing with them. Okay, make sure that you're that leader that leads with example, not with talk. When you're hiring people, make sure you do due diligence. Make sure you're protecting yourself. You know, have people work on commission. Oftentimes, there's so many VAs out there. Don't limit yourself to like, oh, this was the one or something like that. Don't limit yourself to that. But when you do find somebody that you like, you know, make sure you pay them. Make sure they're getting enough money to be satisfied. Making sure they're seeing the opportunities above. Okay, make sure that they see growth in the company. Beautiful, guys. That's what I really want to get out with VAs, but I want to talk about now with pricing, actually. And yeah, let's talk about pricing right now. I think this is an important one as well too. Pricing. Let's go over pricing. Pricing. All right. And as you guys can tell, I don't really watch too many sports. By the way, I just got corrected over there, so excuse me, guys. I'm too busy trying to make some money. All right, so let's talk about pricing now. All right, pricing. We got a better marker really quick because this one's kind of running out. Garbage. That later. All right, pricing. Oh, so much better. Pricing. Let's go, baby. How do you price your shit, guys? How do you price your shit? So obviously, we probably all already know that it is easier to close one 1K client than, wait, so 10 times 10, then $10, that's 100. Then 10 $100 clients. It's easier to do this than it is to do this. Because what I find that regardless of what you're doing and you're selling, the time it takes to sell somebody, it's the same between $100 product and it is $1,000 product. It is a $10,000 product. Okay, I can't really say anything past 50K because I haven't sold anything past 50K. So don't have advice for you there. But when it comes to products that are under 50K, I do have experience there, so I could help you out there. All right, cool. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a lot easier to be able to sell a high ticket product and make your money that way than sell 100 different small little products and trying to just go after everybody. Because ultimately what I find is that if you do have a good offer, the conversion rate is kind of the same. It's really just a matter of when you bring this opportunity to somebody, are they ready to invest? Is it the right time? Do you have the right offer? You know? So I don't really see too much of a difference when it comes to closing in terms of pricing. When you are pricing out your product, you got to figure out, all right, yo, how much value can I really provide someone? That's really, what is money? Money is value or leverage. How much value can I really provide this person? How much can I help this guy leverage, kind of? So let's say that this client, and it always matters differently depending on how much the client is actually already making, because you know if you implement a system that's going to double whatever they're doing, they're making $100,000 every single year. You double, that's $200,000, but they're making $100,000 every single month, and you double that shit. That's crazy. What I'm trying to say. So when you're doing this, I would recommend focusing on just more so high tickets because it takes the same amount of time to close. But you got to keep in mind that realistically, bro, anything 300 plus, you're going to have to close over the phone. All right. Anything 300 down, at least services that are 300 plus, you're going to have to close on the phone. Because you can sell a fucking Mac for $1,000 online, but it's a product. So services, $300 plus, you're gonna have to close over the phone. $300 below, you can close it online with relative ease if it's the right offer. So I would not even waste my time with $300 unless it's getting them on a management fee. In which case, if it's $300 a month, times 12 equals three, it's like 4K. So if you think about it, if you keep the person on for a year, you're making like 4K every single time you close that person. So then yeah, it is worth it. But you really got to figure out how much value you provide that person. This person has a freaking roofing business, and you implement Google Ads. All right, and you're doubling the amount of clients that he has. If you're times 2 clients, if this guy's doing, let's say he's doing 20K a month, and you double his clients to 40K slash month, you can take 10% of that. You can probably take even 15% of that. It really now comes down to how much extra work is involved as well too, and his expenses as well too. It's really just up to a conversation with the client. It's like we're both human beings. We got to feel comfortable talking to the person. But what I'm trying to say is that even me, we're running ads for a merchant account right now. In which case he's doing phenomenal. This dude is fucking killing, and we're so proud of this dude. But what we want to do is you want to upsell him a little bit more. Because right now he has his ads running on Instagram and Facebook. What we want to do is also want to run on LinkedIn, and we're also going to want to run on Twitter, and we also want to implement a back-end affiliate management system onto it. So there's a whole shit ton of value that we're quite literally going to be like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do X. This is going to multiply your shit by 10X or something like that. And this is how much I'm expecting in compensation. And the reason why you're going to give me that money is because this is what I'm already doing for you. If you're closing a fucking deal a day, let's say you're making 30 bands a month, I'm making you 30 racks a month just on ads, and I'm making, right now we're at a cat, what are we at? I think $2 grand or something like that this time. I think we're at like 2K. Let's say for 3K. So let's go to my 10% rule. Right now, for this client, we're at 3K. I'm like, listen, bro, this is what we're gonna do for you. We're gonna implement this system, this system. This system is gonna get you over to like 60K. It's going to, I don't want to, let's not say double, let's just say just doubles it, right? But this system that we're about to implement, this affiliate marketing system, is gonna easily double the amount of revenue you're gonna have. I want to implement this for you, and you've seen my past results. I'm doing this for you, and I'm still getting 10%. I'm about to make you 60K a month because this system has try, improve, and it's going to make you money. I want 10% of that. I want at least 6K. Boom, and the client's gonna give me that because if you build this, I call it these money printers. If you're able to successfully build these money printers for somebody, in which case every single time they put $10 in, and they get, I don't know, let's say $20 out. Just scale that shit up. Now put $100 in, $200 out. All right. But then you got to come into the fact, like, all right, cool. If you make this guy $200, how much time is he really spent on handling his clients? So I find that a lot of these contractors, they have these smaller jobs, they have these smaller teams. In which case, a lot of them, they only really work to be able to pay rent or bar tab or whatever. All right. In which case, they're not really looking for a boatload of jobs. They don't want to have that stress of having to hire more subcontractors out. They don't want to deal with that stress all the times. So oftentimes, a lot of contractors, they want more high ticket jobs and maybe better systems that bring them more freedom. And yeah, they might be making less, or maybe you're charging them a lot more, but because it's giving them more freedom to do the things that they want to do with less time that they had to take involved with all more high ticket jobs, you can charge a lot more for that. So really it comes down to when you're charging for somebody, how much do they really value it? Is it bringing them, you either save people money, save people time, or make people money? It's really the three things. How much of those three things, one of those three things, are you really doing? And it really comes down to that conversation with the person. But when you're first starting out, let's say this guy is always, I wonder if he's on Discord right now or on here right now. No, he's not. But I have this guy that's always contacting me. And he's like, bro, I need web design clients. All right, bro, I need web design clients. 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 I'm like, all right, cool, dude. What are you doing for it? How much are you charging? And he doesn't give me a price, you know? So for websites, I'm sure everybody's seeing people selling websites for like $10,000, $20,000. All right. Let's talk about how to get those $10,000 website designing contracts. So that if this dude watches this recap right now, he's at least gonna know. All right. And it's very, very simple. I've sold a couple websites in the past. The most I ever sold one was for around 12 grand. And it didn't come with any management fee or anything, but I sold for the 12 grand. I think it had like 6 pages or something like that. I had a bunch of animations on it, and it was able to integrate with Go High Level seamlessly. And there's something else with it. Maybe you rent ads for like the first month or something like that. I don't really remember. This was like two years ago. But when I was selling this website to this person, this is exactly how I did it. So obviously, a guy that's making, let's say your specific niche is roofing. Let's say, a guy that's making under, if you're trying to sell a website for 10 grand plus, you're not gonna be able to sell to somebody making 10K a month. That's just not gonna happen. You're gonna want to focus on those people that are making at least 30K plus last month. Those are the people you want to focus on. Okay. And when you're first starting out, you're not going to want to try every single niche out. You're not. Because when you first start out building these websites, building these, I don't know, Go High Level CRMs, building these funnels for people, doing these ads out for people, you're going to do everything with scalability in mind. And knowing that, if you build out a site for contractors, another one for freaking, I don't know, people making instruments, blowing the flute. You do another one for the freaking army. If you do another one for painters, another one for credit repair, another for mortgage brokers. You build all these different systems up that require different aspects that, with mortgage brokers, you need to learn about certain laws. Healthcare professionals, you gotta learn about HIPAA laws. Credit repair, you got to know about disputing processes. It's a lot of different things that you're going to have to be a master of when you're starting out this agency. Rather than doing that, what the best way of really scaling those shits up is pick one niche. Pick one niche that's going to have a lot of people making a lot of money. Because you don't want to pick out finger painters, all right? You don't want to pick out fucking finger painters. Because chances are they're not going to end up buying a $10,000 website from you. You're not going to want to do pianists, piano people, piano teaching, because this might not be a big enough market of people really making a lot of money with that. Most of those people probably use Google My Business anyway. But when you want to sell a website for 30K, you might want to hit like construction. You might want to hit commercial, specifically commercial roofing is a good one. You might want to hit the financial industry, healthcare professionals, personal training, different things like that. So make sure first pick a niche that you can see you becoming an expert with and truly scaling. All right. First pick one niche. Let's say it's contractors. All right. Let's say we're going to do roofing. We want to sell it to roofers. We want to sell a roofing website. Now, Blade, now you got the niche. Cool. Step one is the niche. Good. Step two is to get a couple of sites under your belt first. This is where I found a word. Get a couple of sites under your belt first. Have at least a portfolio that people can kind of see. And then what I do is and I know this is going to sound a little crazy. All right, about to get a little crazy in here, guys. I'm about to give you the secret sauce on how to sell 10, 20, 30K websites. All right. This is what I do, guys. All right. So now try to keep this to yourselves, guys. This is the freaking secret sauce. And I don't want you telling anybody about this shit. This is crazy. You're about to make 30 bands this week, all right? This is what we do. Scrape LinkedIn. I mean, I'm sure there's other AI software that allows you to scrape leads. But what I'm using this for is I want to get a list of roofers that are making 30K a month plus that are roofers. And I want to see their site. what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for those sites that are kind of out of fashion, that are the slow responsive, that are not that fast. And what I did to sell my first site is I took this entire list and I sent out a massive broadcast emails to Gmails to all those people that have it. And what I would pretty much say is like, hey, I designed a brand new site for you. I want to give it to you for free for a week. If after that you like it, we can talk about pricing later. Just like that. And if the person is making more than 30K a month, if he's making more than 50K a month, the person that I sold that 12K site to, that dude was probably doing around 60 bands a month. So 12K wasn't really too much for him. So that guy, he literally sent a money transfer right then and there, after that week of using it. He's like, oh my gosh, I freaking love the site. There's a couple throughout that week, there was some optimizations I had to make into the site, but it wasn't really too difficult because like I said before, the 80-20 rule, 20% selling, other 80% is deliverability. The other 80%, I just put them on a Discord chat. Actually, back then I was using Slack. I put them on Slack or WhatsApp. I don't want to get too lost in this, but I put him on a quick chat with my designer, and boom, boom, boom. He just asked for a couple of optimizations throughout the week, and boom, done. He absolutely fucking loved the site. The problem is people don't always know that they need to. People always don't always. It's almost as if that contractor or that car repairman that has a shitty car. It's that mechanic that has a loud car or a broken light. It's that contractor that never works on his own house. It's that painter that never paints his own house. These people, they're constantly seeing their website so many times. Constantly, their first thing that pops up is their site. They see it so many times that they're used to it. They don't think anything really needs to change. But the past 10, 20 years of building that business up so I can finally get those 100K a month marks, they probably don't even think about that. They're probably focusing on other things, operations, having my crew, marketing, other things like that. They probably don't realize that the site is a little outdated, especially in this ever-changing landscape right now. Everything's changing so quick too. So reaching out to those people and getting to realize that, hey, I might be a little bit outdated, and usually people that are making 60K a month plus, those guys are very open-minded and they're not necessarily, they don't have the time for a call all the time, but they're open-minded and they're willing to hear you out. In which is why for my clients, I emailed that guy, I hit him up on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I made sure I found the CEO and I hit up his personal Facebook page and his personal LinkedIn. I don't really get too many responses from LinkedIn. I only use it to scrape people. What I'm trying to say is that hit these people up through everything. And I'm going to finish off this pricing section with one last thing, and then I'll kind of open up to questions. But there's this unwritten rule that isn't taught in public schools. You're taught that when you apply for like a job, for example, you're taught to send in a resume and hope for the best. Nothing happens, move on, go to another one, send in a resume and move on. Like me just thinking about that sounds depressing as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. The right way to do it is not that. The right way is to find the company that you want to work with. The right way is to prove to them that you're the fucking best. The right way is to make sure you contact those people on every single social media platform. Get to know all the employees so that when you come up, people already know your name. The right way of doing this is to make sure you contact the CEO. You call up the CEO, you email the CEO, you find it Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, everything, and you contact them through all the platforms telling about your website. And like, hey, I want to give this to you for free. It's that these people don't have a lot of time on their hands. They're not going to be searching through these resumes. They get that shit all the time. They get thousands of resumes every day. They get thousands of website proposals every day. They get thousands of marketing agency proposals every day. All these said, they're constantly blowing up by spam, guys. Even if you're not too crazy into your business yet, you're just starting out, just look at your fucking emails, spam. Email. If you go to your emails, I'm sure if you scroll down just a little bit, you're going to find a shit ton of spam. You're constantly getting promotions. So you need to do things that other people aren't willing to do to be able to get past that. You can't just be that guy posting on my Discord. I need $10,000 for a website design. I need a $10,000 website design contract. So, and I need $1 million fucking too. I want ice cream, but it's not cheat day. So, whatever, you gotta be proactive. That's not a good analogy. But what I'm trying to say is that you gotta be proactive. You can't just be like, yo, fund my business. I get that so much. I literally get that. It's incredible how much I get for people just asking me on funding my business. And I'll get that through my Instagram at least 5 times a day. I'm so glad. Well, I'm not glad, but like that's a benefit. My Instagram getting shut down. I don't have to receive those messages anymore. No, if you want your business funding, it's you're gonna have to start a relationship with. You got to get it from an investor or from a bank. All right. And then you got to prove to these people that they're going to get an ROI. Because it's not going to give free shit to you. There's no such thing as free shit. There's no such thing as that. So you got to prove to yourself why you deserve to have this money, why you deserve to get this $10,000 for your website that you can probably get as a template online, or you can pay for $100 on Fiverr. Why is yours better? You got to do things that other people aren't willing to do. You need to be able to be better than everybody else. It might be thinking like, Blade, they sound so conceited right now, but no, that's not. You got to be confident in yourself. You got to be not conceited. You got to be willing to do the things that people don't want to do. You got to be able to contact them through every social media platform. You want funding, all right? Prove to the investors how the investor can make money on that. Because ultimately, the investor, what do they want to do? They want to make money. The person that's about the website, what do they want to do? They want to make money, okay? And they're not going to trust just random people out the block. They're not going to just hand out the money to anybody. So you got to do things that will grab their attention. Let's say you want funding. Build up a community around 10,000 people and build an email list of everybody that's going to start the beta testing. Literally, if you want $100,000 from an investor, you can't just ask somebody for that. You can't. It's not going to work. They're going to shut you down there and laugh in your freaking face. Okay. So what you need to do is you got to show them proof that, hey, this person, you're going to give me $100,000. I'm going to make money on that. And I'm going to give you back $150,000. And this is how, because I got this group already. Half of them already said that I'm going to buy at the $297 a month level. The other half are kind of interested. And then I also got this other lead list of another 10,000 people that has opted in for a freebie in relation to this. That sounds a lot better than be like, knock, knock, give me $10,000. Or going on a random Discord and be like, I need a $10,000 website building contract. It's just those things, that people maybe people don't think about, but maybe, I don't know. But you got to be willing to be the best. You got to be willing to succeed. See yourself. What I always think is, like, let's say I want to, like I said in the very beginning of this video, I want to have a goal next year. I want to make 5 millionaires. All right. What do I got to be? What do I got to do to do that? To break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down. It's hot. Break it down like it's hot, baby. All right. I want to make these 5 millionaires. What do I got to do? Me, myself, and I got to be killing it in my business. Me, myself, and I got to be doing these videos. Me, myself, and I got to make sure that in the morning I'm being proactive, doing this. I'm getting more clients in. I'm checking up on my past clients. I'm making sure my ads are good. As my ad manager has everything and more to be able to reach his fullest potential. As my AI automation guy, my AI virtual assistant guy, he has everything and more to be able to reach his potential, make our clients succeed. My funnel building, my automation guy, my email marketing, my copy guy, my graphic designer. Do they have everything they possibly need to become as successful as possible so that we can generate these 5 millionaires? Rather than being reactive and hoping for things to come to you, you need to learn to be proactive, make plans, look at yourself. And if you get anything out of this video, get this. Picture yourself 5, 10 years down the line. How do you want to look 5, 10 years down the line? I know how I want to look. I want to have a massive farm of around 100 acres. I got to have at least 2 other girlfriends, maybe 3 other girlfriends. Got to have at least 6 cars. I got to have at least 3 other houses, 1 in Bali, 1 in Dubai, 1 in Puerto Rico. Already got one here. Another one in maybe Texas, Florida, we sweet. And I also want a nightclub. I got to have a nightclub. So now I got all these ambitions I want to do 10 years down the line. How am I going to get there? What type of person do I need to be able to get there? Because I'm not going to be able to have those, and Definitely tell you, I'm not getting 6 chicks. I'm not getting whatever, 6 cars being reactive. That's not going to happen. Nowhere, it's really impossible for Lamborghinis to just come to me. I got to track that shit. Ain't no way. You best believe it. I'm not getting other couple girlfriends unless I be proactive. I gotta go out there. I gotta mingle. I gotta talk to chicks. Ain't no way that's gonna happen. You gotta be confident in yourself to be able to do those things. So what I'm asking you guys to do, and you guys know how to do it, unless you want to win, then do it. But look at yourself 5-10 years down the line. What do I want to have? Write that shit down. Because when you write that shit down, things actually happen. Once you believe it yourself, your subconscious constantly, without you understanding it, will start to work. It will start to go into work mode, and it will figure out the solutions to be able to fix those problems. It will figure out, what do I got to do to be able to get those Lamborghinis? What do I got to do to be able to make sure that my 5 guys become millionaires this next year? What do I got to do to be able to do this? What daily habits do I got to do? Sounds like I'm making a song right now, but really, and write that shit down. Write that shit down so you see it every freaking day and believe it. You need to make sure you believe it. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. All right. All right. So make sure you write that shit down. Make sure you have goals and break that shit down. Break it by 10 years down the line, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, a week, a day. Break it down, because you're gonna find the more that you plan things out, the more that you plan and believe in yourself, the more you're gonna find yourself winning a whole lot more. All right, because if you're just this reactive guy just waiting for your next client to come in, it's not gonna work. Let me be the one to tell you that that's probably not gonna work. Just like you're probably not gonna win the lottery. That's probably not gonna happen. So you need to make sure that you're fucking proactive. Go get that shit, guys. This week over here is a new fucking week. All right. Today is, yeah, it's nighttime right now. Live this week like it was your last. All right. And if you wake up the following morning, jot down your fucking knees and give thanks to God, baby. All right. What I'm trying to say is, this week is gonna be a new week for you. You're gonna be more proactive as ever. You're gonna win more than ever. You're not gonna react to anything. You're gonna plan. You are going to plan ahead. You're going to make moves. You're gonna, those tactics to fucking close $10,000 website deals. Did you see how simple that was? Did you see how fucking simple that is? It's the most simple shit ever. But it's difficult. It is hard. It takes time. People are gonna reject you. People are gonna tell you no. People are gonna tell you to fuck off. So just call the next person, So it doesn't matter. Be proactive. Come up with a plan this week and fucking murderize this fucking week, guys. Let's fucking go, all right? I'm fired up, all right? Yes, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, all right? I'm going to stop the recording. If anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer that, guys, because like I said, you guys already heard my goals. I want you all to win. I want you to become as successful as possible. I want you to all become freaking millionaires, guys. And if you guys are jotting notes down, you don't have time to really ask you something, guys, there's plenty of ways to get in contact with me. And you're so very welcome. I want you all to win, guys. Let's all fucking kill this week, guys. All right. Let's make more calls than ever. Let's close more clients than ever. Let's be proactive as fuck. Let's plan shit down to the T. All right. Because we all know that a dummy with a plan completely beats out the smartest person in the world without a plan. We all know that, all right? I love that, my man. Penthouse living coming soon, guys. Let's be proactive and let's cop that penthouse, guys. Let's fucking win, guys. I'll see you in the Discord. Thank you guys for being here. Any other questions, comments, concerns, guys, let me know. I want you to become as successful as possible, because ultimately, the more money I make you guys, the more you're going to end up paying me. That's just how it is, guys, all right? I love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Peace out. Recap coming soon. Peace out, guys.